Get your Choco chocolate milk today.
It's good. It comes with vitamins and protein, and don't forget the calcium. Get your Choco chocolate milk today.
Call 9991.
Drink your Choco chocolate milk today. It will make you strong. We're not lying, we're not wrong. Choco chocolate milk.
Hey Jamie, you want to hear something awesome? Fossils are super cool bones that come from dinosaurs that scientists found buried in the ground. And
Whoa. Fossils are cool, but I'm starving. I think I'm going to turn into a fossil myself. Hey guys, want to come do for some fossils with us? I can't. I'm too hungry.
Wow, it looks like you haven't had enough dairy recently. Whoa, it looks like you're withering away.
Everyone, come quick! I just found something, and it's really cold.
Whoa!
Guys, fossils aren't usually frozen dairy products. Wait a minute, this isn't a fossil.
They didn't discover a fossil! They discovered something even better!
Dino dairy!
Packed with protein, vitamin B, and D. This delicious ice cream makes your bones stronger. It's nutritious, delicious, and totally dynamite.
This was the best fossil hunt ever.
Find Dino Dairy at a local grocery store today.
And elementary students get 15% off every gallon.
Dino Dairy! It's dynamite!
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Double Platinum Farm Virtual Chat. I am Brittany with Discover Dairy, and we are so excited to have you. We're going to have so much fun. We've got Farmer Meagan on standby. We can see that chat is rolling in with questions and comments and all kinds of check-ins, so thank you so much. And we have 3 of the cutest calves, Ariel, Elsa, and Lilo, all ready for their close-ups. This event is part of the Adopt a Cow program. More than 48,000 classes and 2.1 million students are all part of this program for free, thanks to our incredible supporters at the American Dairy Association Mideast and the Dairy Excellence Foundation. And I know many of you are already excited for the excitement to happen again next year. So go ahead and mark your calendars because enrollment will open on May 1st. You can go to discoverdairy.com/adopt once registration goes live. And because this is a live event, we want to hear from all of you. Go ahead and drop those questions, those comments, those check-ins, all that good stuff into that chat. Let's have all kinds of energy flowing in that chat. Speaking of that, let's see who's joining us today. I think this chat is very excited today. Let's see. We've got some folks who are excited to saying thank you to Megan, and they love watching Lilo grow, and they're excited to be here. So hello and welcome. We're excited to have you too. How about we have Mr. Rapp and Miss Katie's class from Mansfield, Ohio. They really have loved following Elsa and excited to join us today. So hello and good morning. Thanks for joining us today. Let's see, we've got Miss Will's class from Hebron, Ohio, and they've already got lots of questions to share. So we're hopefully going to get to as many of these as we can. But hello and good morning. Thank you for tuning in with us today. We have Mrs. Miller's class, and they are joining us today from Green Springs Elementary School in Green Springs. So hello and welcome. And they're here for Lilo. Go Lilo. We've got some folks here from Twinburg, Ohio, second graders. Hey, second graders. Nice to have you on this morning. Thanks for joining us. We have Mrs. Woodard's class in Crestline, Ohio, and they're here for Elsa. Hello and good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we'll do 1 or 2 more here. We've got Washington Elementary from Dublin, Ohio. Hello, Washington Elementary students. Thank you for joining us today. And we have Mrs. Warnick's third graders who are here from Fort Jennings, Ohio. Thank you all for joining us. Oh my goodness, this chat is incredible and is going to be a lot to keep up with today. You guys are bringing the energy on. So thank you so much. We're excited to chat with you and, of course, get to get to see our calves and talk with Farmer Megan. Speaking of Farmer Megan, I am so excited to introduce her to you. So, hey, Farmer Megan, how are we doing today?
Hi, I'm good, Brittany. It is a beautiful day here at Double Platinum Farms, and I am here with the three calves that you guys have
Oh,
adopted throughout the year. So it is awesome to finally get to do this live chat with
yeah.
you.
Awesome. Oh, thank you so much, Farmer Megan, for making time for us today to do this with you. And of course, help let us get to see these calves. So before we start talking about them, let's just get a recap on who you are and who Double Platinum Farm is. So we'd love to just, who are you? What's your role on the farm? And a little bit of history and background about Double Platinum Farm.
Yeah, so Double Platinum Farm, we originated in 1862. That's when we started.
Yeah.
I on the farm, I work with the baby calves, and then I do some of the heifers, but then I also help with chores in the milk cow barn. But my favorite is being able to spend around the baby calves and getting them off to a really healthy start at the beginning, so then they can turn into a really good cow later on in life.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
that's my favorite thing on the farm, and that's kind of what I do here.
I love that. Very cool. And tell us a little bit about Double Platinum Farm. So, like, how big is the farm? Where are you located? How many cows do you milk? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, so Double Platinum Farm is located in Delphos, Ohio. We milk about 250 cows using Lely robots, and we have four
Oh,
Lely robots that milk our cows. So that's really cool, and
yeah.
it's a new technology.
Mm.
So we have the Lely Astronaut 5s, which are the newer
Ooh.
astronauts out, and then we have all of our animals here on the farm, our heifers, our calves, everybody is here. So um, we
Wow.
get to monitor them every day. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's a little bit
Wow.
about the farm.
That is incredible. I think it's crazy that we can even say robots and dairy farming in the same sentence and it makes sense, right? I mean, if you think just back
Right.
50 years ago, dairy farming was just so different. And now there's just incredible technology that allows you as farmers to be able to focus on different things at different levels. And I think robots are just one of those amazing pieces of technology that takes some of the mundane out of it, but still lets you have full control over care for your cows and making sure they're living a very vibrant and healthy life. So I think that's really cool. How long is a cow in a robot for to be milked?
So an average time, box time, is about, I would say, about 10 minutes, and that's
Okay.
doing the cleaning, post dip, and then the milking. So altogether, about
Wow.
6 to 10 minutes. Yep,
That sounds extremely quick. And then how
it
do you get
does.
them to go? Yeah. And then how do you get them to go into the robot, right? It's not like you're standing there telling them to go in. So what's enticing them to come to the robot and get milked themselves?
Yeah, so when a cow is when she has a full udder of milk, there's a bunch
Hmm.
of pressure in that udder. And she
Sure.
wants to go into that robot and get milked and relieve that pressure because I wouldn't want to be carrying around an extra like 30 pounds of milk on me. So that's what also entices them to go into the robot. Also in
Wow.
the robot, they eat a pellet, which is really hot. It has a bunch of corn in it, and cows
Ah,
absolutely love corn. So they get like a little treat when they're getting milked as well. So that also helps them learn to go into the robot. And
sure.
cows, they are very they stick to a routine. So you'll actually see a cow come into the robot around to like the same time each day. So they love routines and they
Wow.
don't like when their routine is messed up by any means.
I think there's a lot of people in the world that are the very same way, so we can't blame them, right? We like our
Right.
routine, we like getting up, having our coffee, going to work, doing our thing. So I would say cows are they've got it right. So they're in there for about 10 minutes, and they go in whenever they want. How often can they go into a robot each day?
Yeah, so very good question. So they come into the robot. Our average is about 3 times a day. Some cows, so most of the cows come in 3 times a day. The younger cows that don't give as much milk, they'll come in like 2 to 3 times a day. But then you
Okay.
have our older cows that are producing like well over our 90-pound average that are
Wow.
producing like 120, 150 pounds. So those
Yeah.
cows come in more often and they'll come in
Hmm.
maybe like 5 times a day.
Wow. I think that's
Yeah.
so cool, right? They get to choose their own schedule. I would love to be able to say
Yeah.
when it's time for me to come into work, right? I'd be like, I'm just gonna wait for a little bit. Oh my
Right.
goodness. All right, Megan, I think that's so cool. And thank you for sharing. I think what's really unique about your farm is some really cool technologies. But of course, I think one of our favorite parts of the year has certainly been getting to know our three adorable adopted calves who have gotten so big. They look like they're as tall as you right now, Farmer Megan. So
Yeah.
let's get an update on how they're doing. Whichever one's closest to you, we'll start with her and give her some spotlight and go from there.
Okay, so here we have 3,000. So this is Ariel. So Ariel is doing extremely well. She's growing extremely well, as you can see. So when I do height, I'm measuring to the withers. So the withers is right here on a calf.
Hmm.
So that's where I'm measuring to. So her head could be
Huh.
taller than what I'm saying. So we're measuring by her withers.
Sure.
This girl is around 620 pounds now. So she is
Wow.
super big and growing very, very well. And she is about 45.5 inches
Yeah.
tall now.
Okay.
And
Wow. So
she
yeah.
she she'll look a little bit bigger to me. I'm only 5'2", so I'm a pretty short individual. So yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So
So
yeah.
she put on like well over 100 pounds. She gained an inch. So that sounds, I think that sounds pretty normal though, right? Like at this age, they really don't put on a lot of height, which we saw they put on,
Right.
they put a lot of height on early in their life, but now they're just working on putting a lot of weight on. And that's pretty normal for cows, right?
Yes, this is very normal. So they're just like filling out more is what's happening. But
Mhm.
yeah, so as you guys can see, she's like filling out more. So she has just ideal weight on her. You don't want them too round, but
Mhm.
obviously not too skinny. So
Yeah.
yes, she is growing perfectly. And we love
Oh.
that about her. Yeah.
I love that. So a little bit, do you have any idea on any insight on Ariel on like her personality at all? Like has she been easy to work with for photos? Has she given, is she the troublemaker or anything like that?
She's made it super easy. She likes to come up to the bunk and eat. She's a big eater, which is why she has grown so well.
Right.
So she is always up at the bunk when we give them feed every other day, new feed in front of their bunk. She is right up
Okay.
there to it. She's a very aggressive um, calf, and other than that, it's been super easy taking her picture, and I mean, look,
Yeah.
she's adorable, so
Right. Aw. Well, thank you so much for that update on Ariel. I'm so glad to hear that
yeah,
she's doing well. So I know Ariel just politely moved out of the way for the next one. So
she
who's our next
did.
one here?
So this is Elsa. So this is
Hi,
America's
Elsa.
favorite calf. So this is Elsa
Oh,
here. She's
hi.
really sweet. Well, maybe so.
She's a little camera shy today.
Yeah, little camera shy.
Oh,
So she's doing really well at she weighs 615 pounds. And then she's right at that
wow.
45.5 mark. You can see like these girls are about the same height. And then back there, Lilo is a little bit shorter, but so these girls are both
Okay.
45 and a half in height. Yep.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Look at her. America's favorite calf right here. She is strutting her stuff.
Yes.
And you know what? Maybe she's just today, just like all of us, not all of us have the day we want to shine. So maybe today she's just like, I'm gonna hunker back here. And it looks
Yeah,
like
she's a little.
maybe Lilo came up front here for us now next, and we'll get a shot of Lilo here. Hey
Yeah.
Lilo. So how's Lilo doing?
So Lilo is right here. So Lilo is the all black calf.
Aw.
She's doing extremely well and growing well as well. I guess everybody else just wants the spotlight today. But
Aw.
Lilo is about 610 pounds. She's just at 45 inches, but I mean, not taking anything away from her. She's
Sure.
growing really well, just like the rest of them. Her mom is a little bit shorter, so that's why I think she's just gonna be a little bit shorter of a calf, but that's just because of her genetics. But she's
Sure.
growing really well and doing well. And these three are very used to each other, and you can tell that they just want to be very close to each other. They're kind of like best friends because I, you know, are with them a lot. So
Sure.
that's why they're kind of all bundled up right here. Sorry.
Oh my goodness. That's all right. I mean, they're definitely displaying, I think, what most cows would do, right? They're herd animals, so they're going to feel most comfortable when they're all together. And
Yeah,
people being in their pen is not necessarily their normal, right? They're used to you, but not necessarily walking in their pen with them. So this
right.
is a bit new for them today. Oh my goodness. Look at this looks like a band shot right here. Like this like the Three News or something. Look at them all. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad to hear they're all doing well and growing big and strong. Farmer Megan. So we know they're, in the 600 pounds now. What will they
Mhm.
be? How heavy approximately will they be when they're considered full grown? And when is full grown?
Yeah, so they'll be full grown when they're about 2 years old. That's when they'll start producing milk as well. And when they're about 2 years old, that's when they're about 1,000 pounds to
Okay.
1,200 pounds.
Wow.
But like a full mature cow to her skeletal maturity, she's about
Mhm.
3 years. So they can keep on growing their whole life,
Wow.
but like pretty much until they're three. Yep.
Hmm. Wow, that's incredible. And it
Yeah.
just sounds crazy because I know us at 3 years old, we certainly have a lot more growing to do. So I think if
Yes.
I believe I've been told before, one cow year is about 10 human years. So that makes sense, right? I would say by the time at 2 years old, they can have their first calf. So they're about 20 years old, and
Yeah.
productively, that sounds about right. So cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, goodness, this is going to be interesting keeping up with this chat, Farmer Megan. I'm going to do my very best. You guys are really alive and I love it. So, thank you so much. Keep those questions coming. We'll get to as many as we can. So, Farmer Megan, I'm going to start going through some questions here and see what we can do. So, first of all, obviously these three girls seem to really be sticking together. How do you see them play? What does it look like when calves play? Are they pulling out a deck of cards, or what does that look like?
So no, they're not pulling out a deck of cards. How they play is they'll kind of like run around in the pen and they'll kind of rub up against each other and they'll play with one another. Cows do have best friends and they'll kind of like want to stick with that close group of friends, and I think all of these guys are best friends. So
Aw,
like just running around in their pen, just having energy, and then just coming up to one another, and that's how they play.
yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
love that. So they just kind of hang out, right? Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. So we're seeing them do this a little bit here. We've got some curious questions and folks curious about what's their favorite thing to eat and what are they eating right now?
So, what is their favorite thing to eat? I would say their favorite thing to eat now, since they're bigger and like 600 pounds range, their
Mhm.
favorite thing to eat is corn silage.
Ah,
So like in the summertime, when you guys are out um, looking at fields possibly, and you see those
mhm.
really big corn stalks, so we use
Yeah.
that whole corn stalk and we chop it up into tiny pieces, and then we
Oh,
make corn silage out of it. So that's what this is. So you guys can kind of see the corn
yeah.
silage that we chop up, and then we put
Huh.
cornmeal in it. So their diet consists of what they eat a day is about 20 pounds of corn silage, and then I would say about 5 pounds of soybean mineral, and then
Mhm.
canola meal, and then we put a mineral supplement in it, so we make sure that they get all of like the minerals and nutrients they need as well. So that's all
Gotcha.
goes into a TMR mix. So that's a total ration, and that's
Mhm.
what we call it, a TMR. So when we mix a bunch of ingredients up, and then we
Hmm.
have a nutritionist actually come out every other week, and he looks at what we're feeding the animals each every other week,
Hmm.
and then he'll look at how as an individual themselves and if we need to make any adjustments. So we
Wow.
really enjoy having a nutritionist also look at them to see if we need to incorporate anything in their diet. So that's super helpful, but that's kind of what they're eating right now. Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. It sounds like a lot of things that I don't think I would necessarily enjoy, but for cows, it's what's delicious and
Yeah.
perfect for their diets. Now, you guys work with someone to help make that ration, right? And can you just talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So we work with an individual who went to Ohio State and he is a food nutritionist. So we
Uh-huh.
work with him and he's the one that makes out what we put into the mixer to mix all up. But my dad primarily is the guy that mixes it all up in the
Sure.
mixer. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So they've got their own nutritionist, helping measuring all the
Hmm.
feeds and the levels and all the food, and then helping make sure that ration is just perfect every single day. And I love that, right? Like
Right.
these cows are eating way better than I am, Farmer Megan. So it's pretty impressive. Oh man.
Yep.
We also had someone curious about sleep. When do they sleep? How do they sleep? Do they have a specific bedtime or nap time, or can they do whatever they want?
So very good question. So they can kind of do whatever they want. But a cow average, she sleeps about 4 hours a day. So they don't spend a whole lot of their time sleeping.
Mhm.
I guess I should say that would be deep sleep is four
Sure.
hours a day, but they do take little like naps throughout the day. But they do deep sleep when they're laying down. And you guys will say, well, people say that like they can stand sleeping. So they're kind of just in like a little snooze doze when they're standing up. But for a deep sleep, they have to be laying down.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So no cow. It sounds like the cow tipping is not really a thing then. I know that tends to get asked, and they're not doing their deep sleeping standing up. So I would say
No.
we're probably not a, that's a myth. Let's
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
So we have a curious question talking about milk production. How
Yeah.
old do our girls need to be to start producing milk?
So they need to be about 2 years old is when they'll start producing milk, 2 to 2.5 years old. So that's when they'll produce milk, and they'll average about 90 pounds that first lactation when they have that first calf. So
Wow.
that's how much milk they will produce, which
Wow.
when I say 90 pounds, so when you guys go to the grocery store and you guys get those big gallon size milk jugs, they eat about 12 of those, or eat. I said that because she was
They're
eating
eating
my
you.
hair. Yeah, they're eating me. But no, they'll produce about 12 of those gallons.
Wow, that is
Yeah,
incredible that they produce so much milk. And you said you milk 250 cows, is that correct?
that is correct. Yep.
Oh my goodness. So 12 gallons of milk per day per cow. That's a lot of milk that your farm is putting out there, but we certainly are appreciative of that because there is a lot more of us than there are of you as a farmer. So we are very
Yeah.
thankful for that for sure. I love that. So talk to us a little more about that milking process. I know we said they're only in for about 10 minutes and you mentioned that they get clean, but what does that feel like for a cow? And just trying to describe the process of milking.
So the process of milking, so when a cow goes into the robot, it will use a brush and it will clean her udder off. So when the cup's attached to the udder, um, it's all clean of any kind of debris and it's all clean where the milk comes out. And so the milk will then attach on to her teats, which are the four quarters of a cow's udder. So then the cup will attach on and it will use a pulsation like this, and it will
Mhm.
pulsate, and that's how the milk is released down. And it's a new feeling at first, that's for sure, to cows
Sure.
that haven't experienced it, but they get used to it
Sure.
very quickly. So they'll just kind of stand there, eat their grain while they produce that milk. And
Mhm.
then the robot will know when she is finished, and then it will spray iodine up onto those teats where the milk came
Mhm.
out.
Mhm.
Because of that opening on the bottom where that milk came out, we don't want any bacteria to get up into the udder, which is why then we spray iodine onto that surface to
Gotcha.
help prevent that. And that's
Cool.
kind of the whole milking process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds quick and easy. Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see. We have some folks who paid really close attention to the last update, and they saw that we included a picture of your engagement. So they just want to say, Megan, congratulations
Oh,
on getting
thank you so
engaged.
much. Yeah.
Yeah. We had some very attentive folks who were paying attention to that 6-month update. All right. So let's
Aw.
see. We are curious about so when obviously our girls right now they look happy and healthy, right? They're eating, they're
Yeah.
drinking, they're socializing. But how do you know when a cow is not feeling good? What are some signs that they can tell you as a farmer that like, yeah, this something's not quite right? Because obviously they're not telling you, hey, Farmer Megan, my stomach hurts, right? So what are some things that you can see as a farmer?
So some signs that I can see are they're laying down a lot in the back of the pen, and they're not getting up and coming up to the bunk and eating. So that's a really good indicator that,
Mm,
oh, something's not going on.
mhm,
That's right.
mhm.
Their ears will be down. Their kind of will be sloped, and that's a good indicator
Sure.
that something's happening
Yeah.
too. Or she'll be breathing like really heavy,
Mhm.
kind of like pumping. That would be a good indication that she might have some pneumonia starting. So we want to
Sure.
try to get that all taken care of so it doesn't get any
Sure.
worse.
Absolutely.
And then another sign that you can see is if they're draining in their eyes a
Hmm.
lot. That's a good indicator where he could be starting in, and we
Sure.
will treat them if needed. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love
So
that,
those
right?
are just some
You have
signs.
to Yeah, you have to learn the tiny little ways to notice if something's not quite right, and then you as a farmer
Yeah.
and your team, I'm sure, all will assess them and handle them as you need to. But of course, you've got that veterinarian on standby, right? That if anything was beyond what you were able to do, you've got a professional able to help you. Is that right?
Right. Yeah. So we have a veterinarian always on call. Well, we can always call them if needed for
Sure.
anything.
Hmm.
We love our veterinarian that comes out. And then they also come out every other week to do pregnancy checks. So
Oh,
every other week, if we have something going on, like a calf that, we can't get turned around or anything, we will have the vet come and check them out too
cool.
while they're here. It's very helpful that they're here every other week, just
Yeah.
to monitor them as well. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got a nutritionist that helps you out. You've got a veterinarian that helps you out. So
Mhm.
obviously, though, there's got to be like labor on the farm taking care of these cows. We have some folks that are curious about how many workers does it take to care for all of these cows? Because it sounds like there's a lot of animals on your farm.
Yeah. So there is my dad, my brother, and I that work on. We have two other workers that farm as well. So there is five of us that do
Okay.
all of the cow operations and then the field work as well. So
Yeah.
um, it takes a good
Yeah.
chunk of us to keep everything rolling correctly.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that sounds like, I'll be honest, for 5 people, that's a lot of cows to keep track of. So what are some things that you can do, what are some tools you have that help you keep track of all of them and have eyes on all of the animals at all times? What are some tools that help you with that?
So some tools we have, like in the heifer barn and in
Mhm.
ah, and in the
Oh
cow
no,
barn,
she got in your hair.
she did get my hair. And in the cow barn, we have necklaces on the animals
Ah,
that have a transponder on them, and that transponder goes then to the computer and tells us like how like their activity, how much they're walking around and
Sure.
getting up and eating. So we have like that kind of technology to tell us. But then like
Mhm.
I walk the calf huts and then the calf barn daily. So
Yeah.
I have my eyes on them.
Yeah.
So those are just some ways that we can make sure that everybody is being seen daily and
Cool.
is being taken care of. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Let's see here. We're gonna try to do one or two more things. Oh, so we've had a lot of people curious about their names. How did you come up with their names? And do you name all the cows on the farm?
So I came up with their names is because my nephews love Disney. So I went ahead and chose Disney names for them, and they thought it was a really cool idea. So I was like, well, I'm sure all the
Cute.
other kids will also think
Yeah.
it's a really neat idea naming them Disney.
Cute.
But all of their animals on the farm, I don't name all of them because I can't come up with all of those names each year, that's for sure.
Sure.
So instead of them having names, they have the ear tag number. So
Gotcha.
like we know Elsa is 3001 and Ariel is 3000 and Lilo is 3002. So
Mhm.
they have those ear tags in their ears. So that's kind of how we say who's who. So I guess that is kind of their name is a number, but they're more than just a number to us, obviously, too.
Sure.
And
Right.
then the name on their tag is their sire number, so or sire
Uh-huh.
name, so that's their
Okay.
dad's name. So we have Stagger and
Ah,
Stagger and then Sanborn. So that is their dad's
nice.
name. So
Cool.
so Ariel and Lilo are sisters because they do have the same dad.
Same
Yeah.
dad. Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
cool. Awesome. So
Yeah.
it's really funny that they're the ones that are sisters and not the other two. We had some folks notice that that our sweet Lilo in the back is more black in the face than the other two. Is that normal? Like, just describe, are they all like black and white like this, or do you ever see all black ones or all white ones, or is there variation?
Yeah, so there is all different variation. So each cow is kind of like a fingerprint, so they don't, so
Hmm,
that none of them have the same spots
cool.
on them. So they're all very different and unique in their own way. So Lilo, the reason why she could be a little bit darker than Ariel is because her mom could be an all black cow. So that's why she could,
Uh-huh.
maybe that's why she's all black, which I
Sure.
believe her mom is pretty much all black. So that's why she kind of correlates
Yeah.
with her mom a little bit more. And then whereas Ariel and Elsa, they're kind of like a mix between black and white, which is
Sure.
what you see majority of the time, but you do
Yeah.
see an all white calf and an all black cow. Yep.
Hmm. Yeah, so I mean, it pretty much comes down to genetics, right? So just like us, like if our mom has red hair, our dad has blonde hair, we could have red or blonde, or maybe even brown if there's brown in the family. So they're the same way, right? The cows will tend to take after what either their mom or dad looked like. So cool.
Right. Yep.
We have some friends here who are curious. Can you right? We've seen pictures of them, but we haven't been able to physically touch them, and we're just curious, are cows soft? Like what does their hide and coat feel like?
Yeah, so their hide is primarily soft. I would say it's kind of like a dog's hair, kind of. So it's kind of rough. I mean, it's not rough, but I wouldn't say it's super smooth. So like a
Sure.
little bit in between is the texture.
Okay.
Um, so you can see that Ariel here, she kind of still has a little bit of her winter coat, so that
Uh-huh.
is a little bit fluffier and softer. She is
Oh,
getting rid of that right now for the summer months, so she is
sure.
shedding that out. So it's a little bit coarser of a hair
Hmm.
than what the fluffy stuff up here is.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow. So they get a winter coat just like dogs, and we've seen many other animals. Very cool. All right. Oh my goodness. I didn't even realize the time it was, Farmer Megan. This has gone by so quickly. I can't believe our time is already up
Yeah.
together. But I do want to wrap up with one more question for you. Just we've learned so much about what it really takes to take care of calves, right? It's day in and day out. There's 5 of you taking care of like 500 plus animals. It's a lot of work, but I know you do it for a reason, right? So what is your why behind what you do?
My why is I get to be around livestock daily, and I love being around cows each day. Happy, they're
Oh, I know she said it was raining there, and I bet the storm is getting worse, and that's why we're losing her a little bit here. Hopefully, we can get her audio back in just a second. Um, Technology is wonderful, right? So hopefully we get her back here soon. But I do just want to say thank you all so much for sharing all of the good things that you've been sharing on the chat here today and asking such great questions. This has truly been so much fun. I know before the chat here, Megan and I were talking a little bit, and she loves. She's shared with me that she just loves that heritage that comes along with being on a farm, right? Working with your family, taking care of cows and providing for the world. It's really a cool opportunity for her. And we certainly are really thankful for her and her family and all that she does, providing that delicious and nutritious product. So it truly is such a blessing that we get to follow along with her and learn from her all year. And who knows, maybe someday you'll be a dairy farmer and get to do something like what Farmer Megan's doing. So thank you all so much for joining on here today, and just having a lot of fun with us. I do just want to say one more time, thank you to Farmer Megan. I know it seems like we lost her here a little bit. I do apologize. But thank you, Farmer Megan, for everything that you did all year long. I'm taking such great care of these calves. And of course, having Elsa, our America's favorite calf, which was a lot of fun. And thank you all, classrooms, teachers, students. Thanks for joining, asking such great questions. You were alive and thriving in that chat. So thank you so much. I hope you had fun learning about what it's like for life on a farm and also what it takes for a calf to grow up happy and healthy. And if you like this adventure, don't forget to go ahead and mark your calendars for May 1st. You can start re-enrolling again then at discoverdairy.com/adopt. And we would really welcome you to join and also bring along a friend who's never done this before. From all of us at Discover Dairy and Double Platinum Farm, thank you so much for spending your morning with us. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Keep learning, keep exploring, and we hope to see you again soon.